Alrighty, everyone. Hey, I'm XLev450X, and welcome back to XLev450X's Longplay. This is the third and final part of this beautiful Longplay of Tekken 7. So in the last two parts, I've covered on part 1, I covered chapters from Prelude to Chapter 10. In the second Chapter 9. In the second part, we covered from Chapter 10 to the finale to the special chapter. Now, I'm not going to hold you guys very long, because now it is time for the best part of the game, character episodes. These characters, as I mentioned in the last part, these characters did not make the cut towards the story, but however, these character episodes are given a special good shot. So I will begin from, there are 5 pages in total, meaning I have to go ahead and play them all. So basically it's going to take a while, but without an issue, so we're going to get that shit covered up with. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, our first character to start off the character episode, Fang Wei. Fang Wei has always abided by what was written on the Godfist scroll. Defeat all other masters and conquer their style. The perfect warrior transcends all to become the Dragon God. Have fought masters of many different styles. Fang returned to his childhood training ground to continue his intense training regimen. Then one day, an unsuspected visitor appeared before Fang. A mysterious man who gathers strength. Something in my mouth. Something in my pipe. Whatever. When the man made it clear that his desire was to fight, Fang had no reason to refuse. He accepted his opponent's challenge in silence and prepared to battle.
Round 1. Fight.
This is like the Tekken 7, yeah, Dragon. I think it was Dragon's Nest.
Round 2. Fight.
And for one, just for the story being, it doesn't rain, which is good. Wow, that was unbelievable. Like, honestly, what a great way to start a character episode. Martial law is next. Preoccupied with paying off his son's debit, Martial Law didn't realize how many of his students had to quit his dojo until it was almost too late. With a large sum still to repay, Law was running out of ideas. As a last resort, he decided to search for a capable fighter to run a dojo. He asked his friend Paul if he knew anyone. In his usual manner, Paul said he himself will be the perfect candidate. However, thinking that the dojo will go bust in a half a day if Paul took control, Law politely refused. Instead, he put the word out that if any strong fighters want to try out the job, they should come and prove their skills in the combat. Challenger after challenger appeared, but none of them were good enough for Law. Then one day, Law heard a rumor that a martial artist living in rural China was said to be the next of his master. Seeing this as his best chance yet, Law set out for his ancient homeland.
Come and get some. Round 1. Fight.
I may not play much Law, but I'm still trying to improve it. And besides, I even have watched Nitro's videos for one, and I gotta thank him. I gotta surely thank him for the for the mastery of Law, because if it wasn't for him, then I wouldn't be here in the first place. I never got the rematch though, but I'll take it. Double key charge. Rage art. Uh-oh. I was gonna say, y'all two should better get the hell out of here before his power came up. Absolute worst. So it looks like Fang and martial law are now cleared. Moving on to the middle part of the first page. Let's start off with the fat man Bob.
I hope you're ready.
Bob entered the King of Iron Fist tournament to prove that he was the strongest in the world. On the way to his match, the road before him exploded, blocking his way forward. The smoke cleared to reveal a lone man, imitating an evil Aurora. Bob had no idea what was happening, but his instinct told him that this guy was somehow connected to the destruction around him. Bob's sense of justice stirred inside him, and he vowed with all his might to defeat the man before him. As the red mist fell over his eyes, Bob forgot about being in a hurry and walked towards his opponent.
It's all or nothing. Round 1. Fight.
Now I may not be a master at Bob. I know most of them are just like playing Bob and all. But not actually like a Bob man, but I still play Bob from time to time.
Round 2. Fight.
And we got a trophy. I demand to know the truth. Bob, your fat ass is sat on Bob. No, Brian. But it's bad luck. Ooh.
Bob never made it to the tournament.
Thank you for your information. Good Christ. Ryan's next. Ryan Fury is a dab hand at making enemies. But when you travel the world picking fights, that is not exactly a surprise. So when Brian appeared in a war-torn city, he took the opportunity to go in a indiscriminate rampage. With the world turning upside down by the constant fighting, Brian was in his element. So when Ron's sluggish-looking man approached him amid the chaos, Ryan could only lick his lips and agree at the prospect of a new victim.
Round 1. Fight.
Now this is another reason why I'm putting my third main into the good use. When it comes down to Brian, you can't absolutely blame him for his style. And honestly though, it was a good idea.
KO. Round 2. Fight.
And I actually like how Brian was like all so badass. And now, Ryan sending. I can imagine so much chaos around Brian. He was the reason why that Brian is my third main. On to the bottom of the first page. We got the last two fighters underway, and starting off with my second main, 1-8. What sees one man as his rival, Jin Kazama. Jin, the CEO of the Mishima Zaibatsu, declared war against the world, and is ensuring turmoil vanished suddenly, without a trace. Suspecting there is more to Jin's disappearance than meets the eye, Wedding vowed to track him down. With only a shed of reliable information at hand, he headed to the Middle East. After a series of dead leads, Wedding heard word that a demon has appeared in town. Without a second thought, he got on his motorcycle and hammered down there. When he arrived, the place has been deserted. When he arrived, the place has been deserted, save for Jin Kazama in his devil form. Feeling each other there. It's go time. I honestly thought that Wedding is my good main for this. And honestly, it was a good idea.
KO. Round 2. Fight.
Key charge. Damn it! Oh. I hope his eye didn't blow up. Ouch! So much for that eye. Like, so much for that eye, man. Rip. And Devil Jin wraps up the first page. After he defeated SSO, Jin Kazama was apprehended by the UN troops. As his unconscious body was being transported by helicopter, he became possessed by this devil form, ripped free from his strap jacket, tore through the helicopter's fuselage with a powerful beam attack, and then escaped. Immediately fending off the US attempts to recapture him, Devil Jin wandered to the desert until he stumbles across a town in the Middle East. His arrival at the town of Bazaar sent the civilians fleeing for their lives, turning once buzzing settlement into abandoned husk. That is, until a certain someone showed his face.
Round 1. Fight.
Now it's Devil Jin's turn to take the side of the story. Now, one thing I like about Devil Jin is I'm not really a good main towards him, but he does have a good fighting style. And now, Devil Jin's ending. Damn! What I had to save Devil Jin by sacrificing himself. Not to mention, that was a good idea. And that was just quite unsurprising, though. Anyways, that wraps up the first page. Beginning in the second page as we speak. And this time, we're now introduced with some ladies on this side. There are 4 girls. Alright, like I said, we're going from top to bottom. I don't want to go ahead and spoil ahead, but we got 4 stories left. So our first up, Lily de Rochefort. Lily entered the King of Iron Fist tournament again without telling her father this time either. Then she was, anyway, smiling at the rapturous crowd looking on at her opponent into the ring. Lily was set to fight Asuka Kazama. Someone she had personally considered her greatest rival for many years. If Lily saw the look of annoyance on Asuka's face, it didn't show. She just walked elegantly to the center of the ring like she owned it. All the while thanking Lady Luck for the opportunity to fight her rival.
Round 1. Fight.
Now, not that I'm not criticizing about the not that I'm actually criticizing the point. One thing I really hate about it is that you can't use the like one thing you actually I hate about is that one thing I don't like about the character episodes is that in the PS4 version, yeah, you have to use the default music. So, which I can't blame them though, but bitch slap, bitch, 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 bitch. Now Lily's ending. And for that, Girls. I'm sorry about the bitch slap settle on Asuka. I was only doing that just for shits and gigs. Now, let's move on. And ladies and gentlemen, the main, my number one main, my go-to main, which I got True Tekken God on Tekken Touch number 2 and Dark Lord on Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection. Asuka Kasama! Since they first fought at the King of Iron Fist tournament, Asuka felt that Lily was taking the whole rivalry nonsense a little too seriously. Asuka recalled Lily's phone call out of the blue a few days earlier. Hello, Asuka. I am sure that you have heard the news that the King of Iron Fist tournament is starting again soon. Worry not, I have already been gracious enough to register you for the competition. No trying to weasel out of it, you hear? I am so looking forward to fighting you. As Asuka led her rage towards Lily pre-stumptedness, whatever. The pre-word, the pre-stump. Let's just call it pre-slump. Excuse me. Anyways, as Asuka led her rage towards Lily's pre-slumpness, fly down the phone, Lily hung up. Fed up of being treated like a rich girl's plaything, Asuka thought that maybe if she beat Lily, the conceited little princess will leave her alone. Then again, maybe not. Asuka wondered how she could resolve this situation, but came up with nothing. Eventually, she decided to go along with Lily's plan and enter the tournament.
Round
One
one.
thing I love about my baby girl Asuka is that she's ready to fight. And I'm grateful that I actually made her.
KO. Round 2. Fight.
Nope. Triple key charge, and here's Asuka's ending.
Allô? Sébastien? Oui, comme prévu. Ciao! なんやいきなり電話して。Tu sais, aujourd'hui je vais emménager chez toi.
Oh my god.
は？何を言うのね。Et je vais apprendre les arts martiaux classiques de style Kazama.
So pretty much it's gonna be the last time
Détends-toi.
of
Tout est réglé. Je viens d'acheter ta maison et ton dojo. Je sais tout.
Oh no.
Ton père-
Oh my Oh my god! I'm sorry if I'm interrupting.
J'ai aussi étudié ton appart. C'était très
Oh my god!
Et je l'ai fait décorer avec des pétales de fleurs. Ton père était enchanté. Nous devrions rentrer à la maison tout de suite. Allez, dépêche-toi. Personne n'aime les traînards.
Oh my god, girls. And Lily and Asuka's ending is so hilarious. Alright, we're now in the middle of the second page. Starting off again with the young girl from Tekken 3, Ling Shan. Ling Shan infiltrated the Mishimasu building in the search of the information relating to Jin Kazama's disappearance. creeping down into the enemy territory under the guards' noses. She eventually hears the Mishima's voice coming from her room. He was giving out orders about locating Jin. Just as Shai was about to sneak into the room, a man dressed in all white emerged and pushed her back. "Take me to Jin," Shai demanded, unflinching. The man stood there for a moment before ordering Shai to follow him. He led her to the roof and then slightly turned towards her and readied himself to fight. Shai took up her fighting stance and said, "So, that's how it is. If you think I'm just some little girl, you're sadly mistaken."
Round 1. Fight.
Now, if I recall, I did a Take an Advance video with Shayu, with Shining and Flooding together. And it's absolutely, like, pretty cool.
D'accordo. Ti permetto di venire con me. Ma dovrai essere pronta.
分かってる。でも、もう迷わないって決めたから。
Bene. Era quello che volevo sentirti.
Claudio. Man, she was just so happy when she finally got that. Now for the next three, characters on behalf of the second page are the newcomers. Keep in mind though, after we finish that, we'll begin the third page. It's not gonna take too long. Next up, we got Claudio Serafino.
Niente di più facile.
The Serious Marksman, a secret society of excellence, has exported a profound influence on European history for hundreds of years. The most powerful exile on the current generation is Claudio, who was visiting the Mishima Sabatsu as the group joined forces to introduce a certain evil. After sharing information on the targets, Kazuya Mishima and Jin Kazama, Claudio left the control room only to be confronted by a young girl. He was about to call the guards when she demanded to be taken to Jin. A plan strong into Claudio's mind. He led her to the roof with He led her to the roof with a grin, prepared to face her in combat.
Sarà un piacere combattere contro di te.
Round 1. Fight.
Now I'm not a really good Claudio player, but I just like using Claudio as the. But I just only like using Claudio because he's one of the new characters. Lightning of Fate.
Come desideri. Puoi unirti a me. Credo che sarai un'ottima esca per la mia preda.
Damn, Claudio. Why you gotta do that to a girl? Katarina Alves is up next on the page.
Deixa eu te testar pra ver se você luta de verdade.
Katarina Alves lost both of her parents at a young age and spent several years at an orphanage before being adopted by the man she never met. Initially, Katarina yelled against him was using a whole manner of profane language, but the man's kindness and patience eventually wore her hard exterior down. In time, they grew close, though a perchance of profane language remained. One day, Katarina's adopted father vanished. As much as she wanted to find him, she lacked the money to do so. But then she learned of the King of Iron Fist tournament. The savage technique that the man had taught her gave Katarina hope that she could win and take the cash prize. And the day of the first match arrived, the arena was none other than the roof of G Corporation's Millennium Tower. When Katarina first laid eyes on her opponent, all she saw was an enormous hunk of muscle. There was no way he could be human.
Cai pra dentro, sua aberração.
Round 1. Fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like the wall bounce technique.
Round 2. Fight.
That was very surprising. I didn't knew that Giga was gonna save Katarina. Now it's on Giga's side of the story. One of the G-Corps Corporation weapons division into the latest biological weapon Gigas into the King of Iron Fist tournament for two reasons. First, to have hit the strength with the next-gen humanoid weapon against a similar weapon of G-Corps, and second, to provoke Heihachi Mishima. Ironically, the first battle was staged on the rooftop of G-Corps' own Millennium Tower, possibly the reputation for their front of Heihachi. Unmoved by the shocking beauty of the skyscraper, Gigas awaited his victim.
Round 1. Fight.
I actually like how Gigas and Katarina were similar, but
Qui? No.
I didn't know that. I didn't know the Gigas was running away from Katarina. I guess those two had in common. I don't know. Something's telling me. Well, we're not far from finished, so let's get going with our third page. We'll begin from Master Raven to Eddy. First up, one of the other new bloods, Master Raven. As an agent of Unknown's Intelligence Bureau, Master Raven embarked on the latest top-secret mission. Infiltrate the King of Iron Fist tournament and confront her assigned target. In the frozen area that was to be her battleground, Master Raven stood, arms folded, face to face, with a sworn enemy, who has narrowed his eyes and took up a fighting pose.
Huh. You're that Russian.
Round one. Fight.
Since Raven couldn't make it to the tournament, Master Raven will be replaced. And on my side, it was a good idea.
KO. Round two. Fight. KO. You win.
This is the guy that gave Raven all that trouble?
Unbelievable.
That imbecile needs to be retrained.
That was very well understandable because I didn't know that Master Raven was going to be in the game. Now for the next three stories, they're gonna have a returning character. Starting off with Sergei Dragonov. Sergei Dragonov entered the King of Iron Fist tournament on Army's orders. At a designated arena of his first match, a woman appeared before him. There was something strangely familiar about her. It didn't take Dragonov long to figure out who she was, and he wasted no time in readying himself for combat.
Round one. Fight.
Now, Sergei Dragonov is one of the coolest characters from Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection, and he was also a good pick.
KO. Round two. Fight.
Now, I'm not a Dragonov master, but I can tell you this much: this guy's pretty good.
KO. You win.
Fire! I didn't know that. Dragonov is quite a guy. The next two, ooh boy, are gonna be a real doozy.
Into game.
Excuse me. When Paul Phoenix, the golden boy of the martial arts world, steps into the ring, the excitement in the crowd is palpable. But this time, when his opponent Nang rang over the loudspeakers, he could scratch his head at disbelief. It was Kuma. Again. However, Kuma was nowhere to be seen. Word went around that the bear had dropped out of the tournament. The ring announcer informed the spectators of the last-minute change to the fight card. Relief awaits the entrance of a long-anticipated human opponent.
Round one. Fight.
Now, I'm not saying Panda is the worst character in the game. She's like way too cute. Oh.
KO. Round two. Fight. You win.
Gotcha! Yeah! Get lost, loser! You stink!
We love Panda, not you!
Oh my god, the sword almost went up to Paul, but he ran away in fear. Now it's time for one of my favorite cute girls. Panda, Ling Shan's a personal bodyguard, was concerned because she hadn't seen Shia since she's left the search of Jinkazama. Panda declared that Shia was likely at the King of Fighters first tournament match, so she headed off to the arena. Panda approaches the staff entrance, inquired of the guards as Shia whereabouts, but was ushered inside, believing Shia to be somewhere up ahead. She bounced down the darkened corridor towards the lights ahead. But to her charging, it wasn't Panda's fearless Shia who awaited her, but a familiar boorish man with a bizarre hairstyle. Enraged by the man's attitude and absence of her owner, Panda's fury reaches boiling point. Where's Shia?
Round one. Fight.
I honestly like Panda because I know she's very cute. Pandas are fun. Oh.
Round two. Fight.
And suddenly, one of her rings that fell off. Look at that! The crowd's cheering for Panda! The scent! Caillou! Oh! And Panda's off to look for Shia now. I guess. I wonder what happens when the story leads on from Tekken 8. That'll be awesome. Whew. Look at Chloe, one of the new characters.
Are you ready?
Look at Chloe was a pop sensation, the face of G-Corp's brand. When the mysterious man burst in G-Corp and took out a guard after guard with a dance-like techniques, Lucky Chloe furiously walked right up to the man and blocked his path. She threw a man one of her trademark smiles and issued a challenge. Fight her, and if he loses, he has to work as the backing dancer. Without caring if he accepted the conditions or not, she prepared for battle.
Round 1. Fight.
Now, without a doubt, Lucky Chloe is one of the new characters in the game. I'm not saying I'm not gonna main her because she's too damn hard. I always prefer maining Asuka than Lucky Chloe because the fact that Asuka's moves is way easier to learn than Chloe's. But every time when Eddy does that, it's so weird. Oh my god. Oh! Oh! Oh my god! I did not know it was gonna happen. Alright, and for the final page and the final character for our third page, Eddy Gordo. Let's do this! Eddy Gordo went to the G Corporation to exact revenge on Kazuya Mishima for murdering his father. After taking out a crowd of guards, a young girl in a strange outfit stood before him and struck a pose. "You're not getting past me, old man." Tiki. What does she mean by old man? Confused and irritated by her appearance and disrespectful tone, but beware of the threat she posed, Eddy prepared to fight.
Round 1. Fight.
Nah, I'm not an Eddy main, but I tell you the truth. But it's actually, I had so much fun when I played when I fought with Cybernetic Slayer, and it didn't work out for me because I'm not actually an Eddy main, but he's like so damn tricky to learn. But I always bring like him in like a ranking match every once in a while.
Me diz onde está o Kazuya. Tá brincando comigo?
Pega, pega, pi.
Droga!
I didn't know he was gonna get irritated because the fact that Lucky Chloe just pranked the son of a bitch. Just two more pages and we can get through this. But like I said, the DLC character is on its way. I just gotta get through with it. Up first, on our fourth page, King. From the very first Tekken. King is not only a masked professional wrestler, but also the proud owner of an orphanage. Recently, King's sword friend and comrade Craig Morag, and fun fact, Craig Morag is now in the game, as well as the man King called his master, both enraged in a bloody fight which left them with critical injuries. King desperately wanted to come to his friend's rescue, but knew that operations wouldn't come cheap. At the same time, King's orphanage was in constant danger owing to the war that raged between G Corporation and the Mishima. Finding himself caught between a rock and a hard place, King entered the King of Iron Fist tournament with his eyes set firmly on the cash prize. And for once, we're fighting without the cape. Now, usually I don't play King as that much as I used to be. King is absolutely the most hardest character to learn in the game. So many damn moves. Wait, moveless. And that's what King is, without a doubt, it's like the hardest character to learn. What? First stream perfect. Now that's what you call King for short. And honestly though, even though King was like one of those hard characters, but I still appreciate for what he had done. On to Jack 7. And shout out to HRTK as he mains Jax. It is no secret that G Corporation was locked in a power struggle with the Mishima. However, within G Corp itself, another battle was raging. The battle to create the ultimate next-gen humanoid weapon. On one side of the developed team behind the Jax series led by Jane, on the other was a research team responsible for Gigas, a bio-handed superhuman. With a massive size and uncanny mobility, Gigas was hailed for his versatility in combat, and some saw him as more than capable of dislogging the Jax series from its position as G Corp's premier weapon. Both teams entered their weapons into the King of Iron Fist tournament to decide once and for all which was best.
Round 1. Fight. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2.
Now I'm not really good at Jackmane, but I just used him just because. But I just only play around with him just because.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. KO. 1, 2, 3.
I didn't know because he was signing signatures. Ah!
こんなとこに突っ立ってんじゃねえよポンコツ。
And when he catched it, Jack was going for his fall.
知らないっと。
Ouch! I hope Jack didn't break nothing. I hope Jack didn't break something. Otherwise, that would have been disastrous. We're on to, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. We have 9 more character episodes left. Next up, my fourth main from Tekken 6. It's Leo Kelson. Leo entered the King of Iron Fist tournament in hope of uncovering more about his deceased mother, who has been researcher for his Mishima Sabatsu. When Leo learned that his battle arena was to be Sabatsu's own dojo, he couldn't believe his luck. However, when he got there, the dojo was in ruin. The moonlight poured into the holes in the wall and roof, illuminating the floor with an eerie beauty. A short while later, a strange floating silhouette appeared and slowly guided towards Leo. The silhouette holds a sword in his left hand, whatever. And then so finally dawned on Leo. This bizarre creature was his potent. Cautiously, he prepared to fight.
Round 1. Fight. Round 2. Fight.
I'm trying to figure out,
Was ist das für ein Ding? Ein Tintenfisch? Ein Oktopus? Ein Ninja? Das ist also dieser komische Typ, über den alle reden. Japan ist so verrückt. Nein, ich muss mich auf meine Mission konzentrieren. Bis später, komischer Oktopus-Typ.
at least Leo was concerned. Time for the next character, Yoshimitsu. With Heihachi restated as the CEO of the Mishima Sabatsu, Yoshimitsu senses something bad was afoot, so entered the King of Iron Fist tournament as a way of confirming suspiciousness. His infiltration point with the Mishima Dojo. It seems like the perfect location for collecting intelligence, and even though the building will act as arena for his tournament match, Yoshimitsu approached from the air just in case. When he entered the Mishima Dojo, the place looked like it has been hit by a typhoon. Waiting for Yoshimitsu in the gloaming was a charming young martial artist. Yoshimitsu couldn't say for sure, but he thought it seemed a little tense. Though his looks were enchanting, he also seems dangerous, so Yoshimitsu braced himself for battle.
Round 1. Fight.
Now, I'm not really good with Yoshimitsu, but this is one of the characters that he was featured in the game of both Tekken and Soul Calibur.
KO. Round 2. Fight.
And sometimes you gotta know the differences. Uh-oh.
Hilfe! Ein komischer Oktopus-Typ ist hinter mir her.
He was like, if I noticed octopus said to say, yeah. Oh my god. Next up, Shaheen. Shaheen works for a private military firm specializing in the provision of security service. During his time in the army, he earned a reputation as an expert in one-on-one combat. One day, his friend and the owner of a company involved in the oil industry died suddenly under mysterious circumstances. In the post-mortem, the death was listed as accidental. But Shaheen suspected foul play when his friend's company was suddenly robbed by G Corporation and the management, all family members, resigned. He began to investigate the matter, and the relatives of a close friend confident in him that a demonic man, the demonic man, was pulling the strings at G Corp, Kazuya Mishima. Shaheen struggled to believe a real demon could exist, but his investigations revealed that Kazuya could have been worse than any other hell creature. Shaheen was torn. Should he take revenge for his friend's death by destroying that demon, or not? Waxed with doubt, he's marked on a solo mission to infiltrate G Corp. Shaheen's a really good new character. Let's go. Now, I'm not really a Shaheen expert, but I can tell you this much. I'm just only playing him just because.
ومع ذلك سأختار طريق الرحمة. بالقيام بذلك سيتم الإعفاء عني أيضا لعدم قيامي بإنقاذ صديقي. كازويا، ما رأيك في العمل معي؟
And he disappeared. Never.
إنه الشرير الأكبر. إذا كان الأمر كذلك فيجب أن لا أدعه يهرب في المرة القادمة التي أقابله فيها. لأجل أصدقائي، لأجل العالم أجمع، علي إيقافه.
Shaheen really must have let this situation go to, really go to pass. We're almost done. Literally, thank God. Next, and our final character for the 4th page, Josie Rizal.
I got this.
Josie Rizal tried her best to support her family by balancing 2 jobs, one as a model and one as a professional kickboxer. One day, when she is out running on her usual training course along the mountain road, she was suddenly confronted by an enormous, hairy creature! Josie screamed, then fled half in tears, but the creature remained hot on her heels. Realizing she had a little chance of escape, Josie abruptly came to a halt and then turned trembling to face her final foe.
Oh, gosh. I'm getting nervous.
Round one. Fight.
One thing I like about Josie Rizal is that she's like one of the new characters, but it's absolutely like the greatest thing of all time. And my Xbox notifies me that the game has stopped installing. Very nice.
KO. Round two.
I'm not actually Josie Rizal main, but
You win.
You scared me.
that's a Philippine thing to do. Scaring people. Oh.
You came after me so you could give me this?
Oh no!
Are you okay? Stay with me!
Wow, poor Josie. She actually knocked down that bear. I felt bad for her. Anyways, that's it for the fourth page. We are now coming to the very almost conclusion. Only four more characters I have to beat, and then the last character will say what I have with the DLC. So let's get on to business. Kuma. The Mishimatsubatsu dispatched Kuma, along with the Tekken force, to the Philippines on the pretext of helping out a relief effort at the Mastros's typhoon. With the Batsu financial cloud behind them, Kuma and the soldiers visited restricted areas, gaining the trust of the locals. Before long, local youths, jobless after the disaster, came forward asking to join the Tekken force. A recruitment test was quickly established, and many young hopefuls went to the test locations in the jungle. Unbeknownst to them, the final test was to fight against no other than Akuma himself. Some buckled under the pressure and quit, others were eliminated. But in the end, one candidate remained, a young athlete woman. However, the girl took one look at Kuma and burst into tears. Kuma felt bad, but attacked anyway in order to complete his assignment.
Round one. Fight.
Now, as for Kuma, same moves as they were before.
KO. Round two. Fight.
I'll check that comment out. Ooh, sorry, Josie.
You win.
Oh, look at this, Bowman. Hey, Bowman.
Get away from me! Don't eat me!
Uh-oh. She froze in fear. Yikes. Looks like Josie just froze herself in fear. Like, that's absolutely scary. Just 3 more characters before I get into the DLC 1, and our next up is Miguel Cabral Rojo. That's the wind pose right there. After losing his sister in an airstrike ordered by the Yoshimitsu under the direction of Jin Kazama, Miguel Cabral Rojo devoted his life to the seeking revenge. However, when Jin suddenly vanished without a trace, well, that's from Tekken 6, Miguel's life virtually disappeared along with him. From that point forward, Miguel began to wander like a specter from battle-torn town to battle-torn town. One day, as he ambled through the rows of divided buildings, he stumbled across a strangely familiar hooded man. There in front of him was none other than his sworn enemy, Jin. Consumed by both Isura and rage, Miguel began frenzied and goes in for the kill.
Round 1. Fight.
Now, one thing I actually like about Miguel is that he's pretty good, but he's a damn tricky character.
KO. Round 2. Fight.
Wait, hold on. I want to try to figure that out.
KO. You win.
Triple key charge, and now Miguel's ending.
¿No me reconoces? No, supongo que no. Mishima Saibatsu mató a mi hermana en un ataque aéreo como si no fuera nada.
Here's the scene from Tekken 6 in case if you didn't see it.
Lo haré, pero no ahora. Aún no ha sufrido lo suficiente como para merecer la muerte. No, todavía no. No hasta que estés lleno de esperanza. Entonces te mataré como si no fueras nada. No te atrevas a morir hasta que llegue ese día.
I understand that Jin was given a lucky save from Miguel, but I swore on his bare life. Well, just the 2 left, and that's between Steve and Nina. Steve's up first. Steve Fox had plenty. Excuse me. Steve Fox has had plenty of run-ins with the Yoshimitsu, but he never gave up his search on the information about his past, though his mother's identity remains a mystery. One name in particular began to crop up time and again: Nina Williams. Believing she knew something, Steve began investigating where her whereabouts until he came up with a promising lead. The information had led him to the frozen cathedral. As he considered how best to proceed, a figure appeared from inside, dressed in a tattered wearing gown. It was Nina, who seemed to be running away from something. Steve told her to stop, but she ignored him and fled. Determined not to let this opportunity escape him, he blocked her path.
You will talk to me, even if I have to make you.
Round 1. Fight.
and it's something I will enjoy every once in a while. Damn. Flip that bitch!
My earliest memory is of a Mishima Zaibatsu laboratory. I don't even know who my parents are. The only one I remember is Dr. Kleeser. She was always nice to me. I infiltrated the Mishima Zaibatsu, and for several years siphoned out intel. Unfortunately, none of it really led anywhere. But your name did come up, time and time again. So tell me, what's your connection to the lab? To me?
Those labs were used by the Mishima Zaibatsu to create super soldiers. Their goal was to physically and genetically engineer the ultimate soldier.
Edwin.
Of course, it all ended in failure.
Edwin's online.
But judging by your left arm, you must be one of the survivors. At the time, the Mishima Zaibatsu had captured me and forced me into cryosleep. It's only recently that I discovered my genes were used in their experiments.
Wait, so does that mean you are my mother?
Don't get the wrong idea. You'll never be my son. I couldn't care less about you. If anything, you're a thorn in my side.
Get out of here. I'll take care of this.
That was one long talk. And I mean literally. Ladies and gentlemen, our final character. Without the DLC, of course. Nina Williams.
Going somewhere?
After failing to apprehend Kazama, Nina Williams decided it was time for her and the Mishima Zaibatsu to go their separate ways. On her first private assassination job, she was tasked with infiltrating a mafia wedding, posing as the bride. During the ceremony, a firefight broke out where Nina took out all her targets. However, the commotion attracted the Tekken Force, who had been dispatched to suppress the violence, and they gave chase. With the Tekken Force in hot pursuit, Nina made her escape. That's when she bumped into a man she found vaguely familiar. The man wouldn't leave her alone. He seemed to have something he wanted to say to her. Nina decided that confrontation was her best chance of escape.
Step aside.
Round one. Fight.
Now, one thing I like about playing as Nina is that she's kind of like a little hard, but a little easy to master.
KO. Round two. Fight.
That was quick. Very, very quick. Which leads me to my last one with the DLC, because I have the DLC in the game. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you guys a little recap, in case if y'all missed it. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, and now we're on our 29th and our final one. Elisa! Elisa was only supposed to take a short nap, but she ended up sleeping for 600 years. Upon waking, she found the powers of the vampire had faded to nothing. In an attempt to restore her strength, she consumed the blood of several victims. However, it wasn't enough. What she needed was the blood of someone with eternal spiritual force. Maybe then she would return to peak condition. But did such a person ever exist in the area? No one sprayed the mind. Left with no other choice, Elisa headed for the old HQ of the clan of the Exonites, who have caused her no end of trouble when she last prowled the nights. Perhaps some of the descendants were still alive.
Time for breakfast.
Round 1. Fight.
Now, one thing I like about playing as Elisa is that I have unlocked her when I was playing Tekken Revolution. If you didn't know what Tekken Revolution is the PlayStation 3 exclusive fighting game that spread the generation for so many years. Unfortunately, it shut down in 2018, and it wasn't before long that Elisa got another chance to return. Elisa was supposed to return to. Elisa was gonna make the cut in Tekken Tournament 2, but she didn't make it. So instead, she made it back into here as a DLC character. Ladies and gentlemen, our final ending.
You call yourself an exorcist? I'm beat. Gonna get home and rest. Je t'ai enfin trouvé. Tu étais emprisonnée sous la propriété de Rochefort. Je suis ta sœur.
Caesar? Yeah, right. I was born 1,000 years and 4 months ago. You're about a millennium too young to be...
Oh.
Hey!
Like I was saying, I slept a few centuries beneath your estate and...
Uh-oh.
Réveille-toi! Ne t'avise pas de t'endormir en ma présence.
You just don't shut up, do you? As I was saying, the Rochefort family and I...
Oh, this girl needs sleep.
Tu devrais boire moins de sang et plus de café.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what do we have? What do you know? We have finished the story mode. Yes! After long years. Woo! Story and character episode, baby. Here's my stats right here. And also I went into like a lot of war battles, but I never win any quick matches. So that's it, guys. So that's it, everyone. Tekken 7 is coming to an end, which means it's the end of my long play. I would like to thank you guys so much for watching and for being there with me since day one. I will keep you guys supportive and continue. Until I find another game, I'll do another long play, but I want to do like where it's not too long, but I'll see what I can find. But anyways, y'all, I'm XLev450X, and this is the end of my long play. I'll see you guys later.